And this is where it gets interesting. He went out on the balcony, he peeked over the divider and had a short discussion with them. Hey, I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. Today I wanted to tell you about a situation I had here on the Disney Dream, a really amazing cruise. It's our first cruise on a Disney Cruise Line ship. We have been on several other cruise lines, several other cruise ships, but this is our first Disney cruise. And there were many things, many reservations I had before doing this. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know it's been something I've been discussing and you guys have been suggesting for so many years. Go on a Disney cruise. I love Disney so much. I love cruising so much. Why not do a Disney cruise? And the main reason, as I was always honest and as I always talked about, was just because of the price. Because for the price of a Disney cruise, like this 4-night cruise, for example, that we're on, costs as much as like a 7 to 10 night cruise on Royal Caribbean on NCL, or like a 7-night cruise in like a very high cabin category, like a suite or maybe even more on something like Carnival or MSC. And that was always the main reason why we had yet to cruise with Disney. But I just decided the time was right, and my friend Josh at cruisesbyjosh.com, he's a cruise-related travel agent that has helped me get a lot of amazing cruise packages. He doesn't sponsor me, we're just friends, but I thought it would be nice to mention him again because he helped me get on this ship and helped me with a fantastic aft balcony cabin here, and that is what I wanted to talk about. So if you haven't seen the cabin tour already, we're staying in an aft balcony, which means it's at the very back of the ship and we're looking out, like as the sea is going away, that is the direction we are looking. The front of the ship is there. Usually a balcony, you're looking like to the left or the right or the starboard, or what's the other side called? Backboard, starboard, and I don't remember. Starboard and other side. So you're looking to the side and we are looking directly towards the back. And one advantage of this is that the balcony is a little bit bigger. We stopped in Nassau, which is a port in the Bahamas that I've been to, I don't know how many times now, 6 times, maybe 7 times. And we were there also last week on the Carnival Sunrise, and we just didn't get off the ship. We stayed on board. And I was planning on sort of relaxing and hanging out on the balcony while we were in Nassau, and there was a little bit of an issue, and that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. It was around, I would say 11:30, maybe around noon in the afternoon, and I had just ordered room service to record my video of the room service review, and it's something I always do if you haven't seen these videos yet. I order room service and take you through the whole experience of looking at the menu, ordering the food, and then we sit down and eat together. And it's a thing that a lot of people have said they like, so I continue to do it because I like it too. And when the food was brought, just shortly after that, my cabin steward knocked on the door because he was bringing, what was he bringing? I don't remember. Oh, he was bringing champagne glasses. We brought a bottle of champagne, which I got as a gift from one of you. Thank you very much, Alex. We had a good time drinking that champagne. And he had brought the glasses, or wanted to make sure that the glasses had been brought. And while he was there, I mentioned something I had noticed, and that is I was out on the balcony, and like I said, I wanted to sort of chill out there and relax and look out at the blue Caribbean waters. But on the balcony just right next door to us, there was work being done. They were sanding off some of the old paint and painting the new paint. And we knew that that could happen because we got a letter about it. And actually, I think I have the letter right here. It says, during your voyage, the maintenance team will be performing some minor but necessary work on your veranda, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, just to sort of warn us about it. And, I actually would have had no problem with it at all, with them being there and working. The problem I had is the paint they were using was really stinky. It smelled like this oily, turpentine-y, not nice smell. And especially if you're sitting down to eat or want to have, a glass of champagne on the balcony, you don't want to be smelling that. I don't like that smell. I'm very sensitive to those kind of smells, like the smell of rubber cement or that kind of paint or turpentine or gasoline. I immediately feel sick and get a headache. Maybe I'm just a wimp, or maybe, I don't know, I'm overreacting, but it just bugs me because, like, you don't always have the choice. You might be walking over the pool deck and they're doing some work, and then I stand there for 10 seconds and all of a sudden I have a headache for a couple hours, and I just don't like that. I'm very hypersensitive to those kind of things. And so, gosh, I'm going off on all these tangents, aren't I? Let's get back to the main core of the story. And what it is I want to tell you is about what happened and the way that Disney dealt with it. So my room service, or my cabin steward, came, and I just asked him casually, listen, they're working on the balcony next to me. They're doing some painting. Do you have any idea how long that's going to take? Because I was planning on spending some time on the balcony, but because of the smell of the paint today, I can't really go out there. So I was just wondering if, so I could plan, if you could help me find out how long until they're done. And this is where it gets interesting. He went out on the balcony, he peeked over the divider and had a short discussion with them. And then they literally stopped what they were doing, packed up their things, and left. They just stopped. And he came back to me and he said, so they're done now. They won't be bothering you anymore. And I was like, well, they didn't have to stop. I was just wondering how much longer it was going to take. And he was like, no, they're done. Don't worry about it. So I'm still kind of in awe that happened, because they weren't finished. I looked over and I could see where they were and how much more they had to do with the sanding and the painting. Some of the parts were, sanded away and they hadn't been painted yet. So they weren't finished, but they just packed up their stuff and left. And then I felt really bad because I had my room service set up here in the room, and the way that I had to film it, I had to do it here in the cabin. And then I felt really guilty because my cabin steward went next door and then was, cleaning on that room, but I wasn't on the balcony. And then I felt like an a-hole for being,
I want to spend time on the balcony. When is that going to stop?
And then he made it stop, and then I wasn't on the balcony. You know what I mean? Oh well, we did spend a lot of time on the balcony later, but just not at that moment. So that is the first part of this story. And now I want to tell you some more things that happened as a result of this. But before I do that, please forgive me for putting a little ad right here. Did you see an ad? Was there a commercial that happened? If you did, let me know what it was in the comments below. Continuing on with the story. When we were back in the cabin later in the day, getting ready for dinner, I think it was, the telephone rang. Scared the shit out of us, because how often does that happen? So I answered the telephone, and it was somebody from guest relations, and they introduced themselves, and they said something like, we understand that you had some inconveniences as far as the balcony goes earlier today. And we just wanted to make sure that everything had been taken care of. And I, mentioned again, yeah, it really wasn't that big of a problem. I just was wondering when they were going to finish, because the smell of the paint was bothering me. But yeah, they're done and it's not bothering me now, and everything's fine. And we had a good time on the balcony. So thank you so much for calling. And then he asked again, are you sure there's nothing else we can do? Everything's fine. And I said, yes, it's totally fine. I just was wondering when they were going to stop, and now everything is good. And he thanked me for the feedback, and then we said goodbye. But today, when we got back from lunch, this was in the room. A fancily decorated bottle of Malbec Zolo. And you know what? I am going to look later at the wine list that they have on board to see how much this bottle of wine goes for on board. And we got this note here. It says, Dear O'Brien family, we truly hope you are having a wonderful vacation full of magical moments. Please accept this sprinkle of pixie dust as a gesture of goodwill. Please do not hesitate to contact us by dialing 0 or stopping by guest services on deck 3 midship should you require further assistance. Best regards, your guest services team. So that for me is like something that proves that this is a luxury cruise line that offers the highest level of customer service. Yes, the name Disney is on it. Yes, there are a lot of kids on this cruise. I mean, a lot of kids. It is tailored towards families. There are Disney characters and Disney magic all over the place, but don't let that fool you. This is a luxury experience. And regardless of what you think of the price or of the theming and the ideas connected to this cruise line and this cruise ship, I just wanted to let you know that this happened and that is how it was dealt with. And it was like, already the fact that he just talked to them and they disappeared, that was already way more than meeting my expectations. Then the fact that I got a telephone call to make sure that everything was okay, already like way over the expectations, and then getting a free bottle of wine, which I would have never expected for this kind of situation. That's just amazing to me. And you know, I know other people would have complained about something like that and like done it in a totally different way and like expected to get somehow compensated, and it might have gone differently for them. I don't know. But like I said, I just was wondering when they were going to stop. And then all this happened as a result. And you know, the Catholic boy in me feels totally guilty now, but I'll probably get over it. Have you ever had something like this happen to you on a cruise where there was just maybe some really minor incident and it resulted in some fantastic surprise that you weren't expecting? If you have a story like that, let me know. I'd like to hear about it, and maybe we can discuss it on Sunday Sofa Time or something like that as well. Thanks for hanging out with me, and like I said, check out the rest of these videos from this cruise. We were on this ship for 4 days. Last week we were on the Carnival Sunrise for 4 days. Quite a yeah, like a large spectrum of cruise experiences and budget experiences in these last 2 cruises. All these videos and more are coming up on my channel here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. If you haven't subscribed yet, then maybe consider doing that. And also I have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and I also have a Twitter that I very rarely use because Twitter's all about politics now, and that's not what I deal with here. I hope you're having a good day, a good cruise, a good vacation, whatever it is you're doing, and talk to you soon.